sleep more. So this is the second most important thing to do to get your shit together for your physical fitness and health. And did you read the book Sleep, Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker? Did you read that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is like, basically read that book. That is a strong recommendation. Such a good book that really makes it clear how incredibly important sleep is.
Yeah, and just to say, if just to sort of wet your beak a little bit, if you're not completely sold on reading the book, you can check out his appearance on Joe Rogan's podcast where he kind of covers the points of the book, because that was my introduction to the book itself. I was like, who's this guy? And he started talking like with so much passion about sleep. Mm-hmm. And the guy is, I don't know how old the dude is, but he looks like he's aging incredibly well. And he's got this massive smile on his face all the time. And he's just like, I was like, wow, okay, this guy probably sleeps 10 hours a night with like an eye mask and stuff. And this is probably his secret. And it's one of those things, it's like sleep more, sleep better. For me, it's always been like, obviously, you read it in practically every health article. But what Why We Sleep, the book, does, and Matthew Walker's research, what it does is it tells you why.
Yeah.
And I think in the same way that we're going to mention another book, I'm sure, Spark, it's the same thing. It's like, it's on the one level, you can be like, yes, I've been told that's a good idea. But that doesn't seem, for me at least, it wasn't enough to enact real behavior change until I learned why this is a good idea and the consequences of bad sleep on a physiological level. I think one of the best things you can do for this to elicit real change is to learn the underpinning stuff, like why actually this changes. What effect does this have in the body? And yeah, Why We Sleep for that is I haven't found a better book on sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've read quite a few, and that's by far the best one. So yeah, that's a strong recommendation. The other book, actually, I forgot to mention that, would be Spark by John Ratty, which does a similar thing for the connection of brain and body, which basically, if you're thinking, I don't want to be, fitness isn't important to me. You're a knowledge worker, you're more of a scholar, you like to work with you live in your mind. Well, Spark by John Ratty will show you why, for you, it's extra important to move, because there's such a strong connection between your brain's capability and your body's movement. So yeah, that would be Spark by John Ratty, and the other one is Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. So a quick quote from the author, Matthew Walker: "Sleep loss will leak down into every nook and cranny of your physiology. Sleep, unfortunately, is not an optional lifestyle luxury. Sleep is a non-negotiable biological necessity. It is your life support system." So similar to what we just mentioned with how getting more movement basically touches every aspect of your life in a positive way, it's the same with sleep, right? Or the flip side of it is not getting enough sleep. There's almost no measurable thing about the human being that isn't negatively affected by sleep deprivation. And the problem is we're basically all chronically sleep deprived, because it would be rare to come across someone who actually gets enough sleep. And because most people are on kind of a schedule where they have an idea of, well, I know that I should probably be getting like 8 hours of sleep, but who gets that? But I try to get like 7. But then, more often than not, I watch another episode of that Netflix show, or I check my phone one last time, and so on. And so actually I maybe get like 6 hours of sleep, or 5.5 or something, but then I catch up on the weekend. And the result of this is basically chronic sleep deprivation. And this is something that is really worth taking seriously, because as actually Ryan put it like this, and Ryan is one of the Icario team members, so go to icario.com to meet all the team. He put it like this, where the problem is most people are operating at like 80%, but they have no idea. They think that's 100%, right? So they're like, no, I'm fine. I don't need more sleep. I'm doing well. And you compare yourself to everyone else that's operating at 80%. It's like, no, I'm doing fine. It's like you just don't know what it would be like to actually operate at 100%, right?
I think 80 is kind of generous.
80 is generous, exactly. 80 is generous. So, so one of the things that really is clear from reading the book is that not getting enough sleep, even by a small amount. So even let's say you need 8 hours, but you usually get like 7 and a bit. That is a sleep lack that takes a long time to compensate for. We imagine that, I didn't sleep that well last night, but today I'll get an extra 20 minutes and it's fine. No, it's not fine. It's like a little bit of sleep lack takes usually several days to recover from. And then you have, I don't sleep enough today, I don't sleep enough tomorrow, et cetera, et cetera. By the time the weekend comes around, I'd need like a whole week just to get back to normal, right? But at most, I get like 2 good days. And then I'm back to sleep deprivation. So this is something to take very, very seriously. And I think it is something that for most of us is actually very possible, because for most of us, we can't choose, or we don't have that much choice about when to get up in the morning because we have somewhere to be, right? You have to be at the office or you have to check in to work or something at a certain time. But what most of us do in the evenings is unnecessary, right? Because most of us are watching Netflix or scrolling through social media or playing games or doing other stuff in the evening that is actually adding almost nothing to our life quality. And yeah, we are, and this is also something we'll talk about a lot, right? But we are captivated by various systems that make us feel like we need more, right? It makes us feel like I have to check my social media one more time. Or it's just, I want to see this next episode. I mean, the episodes are designed so that you want to see the next one, right? It's optimized to do that. So you're captive by these systems that keep your attention in the evening. And also you maybe have trouble sleeping because you're staring at light sources all day. And so when you go to bed, it takes a long time to sleep, and you don't like that, so you want to put it off. And so we're captive in a system that keeps our attention till late in the night. But again, we're not doing anything important. We're not doing anything that we couldn't just not do and instead get more sleep, but that would just upgrade our life completely.